Nerdy dudes are the most underrated guy to date.
You were absolutely right. You never have to be worried about him being committed. Just take a look at his collection.
Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're joined by my wife today, and today we're going to be discussing some things that you should know when dating a collector.
Pay attention, girls.
Something good about when dating a collector is that they're pretty organized. As you can see by my collection and maybe by other people's collections, they pay attention to details and are generally organized people. When dating a collector, we've always strove for fairness in our relationship. So, obviously I like to have a lot of collectibles and action figures, and so the money that I spend on my hobby collecting, I also give my wife a fair amount of money that she can spend on whatever she wants.
Clothes, shoes, and hair.
And that's another advantage to dating a collector, is that since we have something that we like that maybe other people don't really get, it doesn't really bother us, or it doesn't bother me. I can speak if she wants like 30 pairs of shoes because I have 200 Jango Fetts, right? Something that's kind of a pro and a con with a collector is money. So I personally am very money conscious. Like I told my wife early on, collecting is fun and it's a hobby, but financial burden is not. And on the other end of that, some collectors will even experience addiction to collecting. And so yeah, as a collector, you definitely need to have like a focus. You don't want to collect everything. I decided early on that I was just going to collect one character. And I would say like a sign that maybe a collector is getting a little bit out of hand with their collecting is that if they're getting like package after package, but they haven't had enough time to open them. They haven't had enough time to really enjoy it before they get another one. Something that we've decided to do so that I can keep collecting is that I get to keep 5% of our income for whatever I want to spend it on, and she also gets to keep 5%. And we're not like, working some big corporate jobs or whatever. Yeah. And so that means I can get a collectible every once in a while. I don't know. How often do you think I get a new one? Like every week or?
No, I think like every 15 days.
Yeah, so twice a month maybe,
Yeah.
Which is, I'd say it's a healthy amount of collecting. It kind of depends on what I get too. Some collectibles are more expensive and all my money's gone, and then I have to wait, before I can get another one. But if I get a bunch of little stuff, then,
Become more cheaper and can get more.
no biggie. So yeah, just pay in mind what kind of collector you're dating, if it's somebody who's pretty responsible with their money or somebody who tends to get a little bit out of control. Another pro to dating a collector is that you might actually like the collection. I like to make a lot of jokes about collecting because it's just kind of a funny thing, like adults collecting toys. I see the humor in that, and so I make lots of jokes about it. But I have a video on my channel of people actually reacting to my collection, and it's very positive.
What? Oh my gracious.
Oh my heck!
People really like the collection, and I tend to get a lot of praise when they see my collection. And so who knows, maybe when you're dating that person, you will actually really love their collection, and maybe you'll get into it too.
Yeah, I really like the collection. I think it's really well done, displayed. And this part, I like it.
And I would pay attention to the collection that they have. If you can kind of see that their collection is maybe disorganized and all over the place, I don't know if that really says so much about a person's personality. Maybe that's okay with you. Or if it's really organized. Like for me, I get compliments that mine looks like a museum exhibit. And I love that. That makes me feel good. And I think you would say that I'm a pretty organized person overall.
Yeah, the good part of our relationship is that he is really organized and I'm not. So we kind of met together.
Pay attention to the care they put into their collection, and it might reflect a little bit on their personality.
That's true.
They're a collector, or they just hoard things. Another pro with dating a collector is that you might want to start collecting with them. Maybe you might not get it at first, but you might get totally swept up in it, and maybe you'll start collecting the same thing they collect, and you'll do it together, which could be like a fun thing to do as a couple. Or maybe you'll just kind of want to collect your own thing, and then you each have kind of your own collections.
He collects Jenga Fit, I collect clothes.
Yeah, my wife doesn't really have a collection. Some couples do that. We don't really do that in our relationship.
No, like I kind of support his collection. I'm not against, but in the same time, you can use this as a gift for any occasion because they will love.
Yeah, and that kind of brings us into another point here, is that dating is kind of a pro and a con, because it's good and sometimes really easy, but sometimes also difficult. Is that gift giving for a collector is pretty easy.
Yeah.
Especially with like a toy collector. A lot of the toys are pretty cheap. I mean, there's some high-end collectibles if you want to get them something really nice. There's definitely a spectrum of prices that you could get them. But what has been your experience with giving me gifts?
First, I like it, but right now I kind of like want to give him something that he actually gonna use, because you guys can see he just display, and I want that he used something that I give to him. But he make like a list for me on like eBay or anything else that he likes, so it's pretty easy to choose anything for him, and he will love it anyway.
Yeah, a lot of people, when they give gifts, they want to surprise them or give them something thoughtful.
That's me.
There is effort put into buying something for a collector, so don't worry about if you think it's too easy or like you didn't put some thought into it. If you get something that, like, I don't know, matches their expectation of the collectible, they will know.
Yeah.
They will know the effort you went through to find it.
Exactly.
And to get it. And something that's really worked well for me, so tip for you guys who are dating a collector, or if you are the collector and you have a girlfriend, wife, fiance, whatever, something that's worked well for me is that I just make like a list of links from eBay or other websites with collectibles. I send them the list of links, and then they just pick a couple things from the list. And so then it's still kind of a surprise. It's going to be something I want, and it's not going to be, she's not going to accidentally get me something I already have, which you almost did.
Yeah, right.
Something that might be a con when dating a collector is that if we get any extra money, we spend it on the collection.
And that's it. Don't have any other thing that he would spend the money for.
Yeah. I mean,
No clothes, nothing fancy, but he can spend a lot of money in collectibles.
Yeah, don't underestimate that. Like, I'll get her flowers on Valentine's Day and stuff, but if I have any extra spending money, and you know, it pretty much goes into my hobby. It goes into the toy collecting. It doesn't really go into other things. So be forewarned.
Yeah, like Drew's really good on organize with finances and organize the dating money, the fun money that he uses as like for his hobby. So we're not like letting he just spend money on collections. We have a kind of plan financially. So if you're dating a collector, make him make a plan so he can spend a certain amount of money on collectibles.
Yeah, that's fair. You should definitely have like a budget. Another thing that's kind of a con to dating a collector is that it's not really like a cool thing. It's not like a cool hobby. You know, there's no ladies hanging out and just being like, oh my gosh, my man has like 300 action figures. Like,
for sure wasn't the first thing I saw Andrew like, he have a collectibles. No.
Yeah.
But it's a hobby. Everyone has their own hobby.
If I was like a car collector or something that was cool, then
oh yeah.
You know, the
Have
person,
Mustangi.
yeah, the person you're dating might, you know, brag about that, but you know, it's not like it's something it's like some deep dark secret about me, you know. And it's not something I would put on my dating profile, you know, like, oh, I have the world's biggest Jenga Fit collection, and then put a photo of it on my, you know, like an online dating profile. Next point is that it's really easy for me as a collector to get carried away if there's a deal or a new release.
Yeah.
Because I do have like my budget, but if I find something that comes out for a good deal, sometimes I will break that budget sometimes. Or, you know, stuff on the secondhand market is almost always more expensive. So if something comes out that's new and I can get for retail price, then sometimes that does tempt me to break the budget a little bit. Another thing you should know about collectors is that we usually know what we have. Me especially, I've been collecting for years, and so I kind of know by heart all the items I already have and the items that I still need. So yeah, feel free to ask your collector that you're dating, and you know, they know a lot about their collection.
Yeah, I think Drew receives tons and tons of notifications off eBay, and he got in there and said, I already have, and he not even need to come here to check if he actually have. So just trust it. They know. You don't need to worry. Just ask him, and he will know if you need to buy for him or not.
A tip if you want to score points with the collector that you're dating is that know how to use eBay. I've given her some tips on how to use eBay, and this is kind of for like when you're buying gifts and stuff too. It's a special occasion or whatever. So eBay works on like a bidding system.
Yeah.
And I also tell her, like, if you find an item that you want to get from me, then search it again on eBay, and you can usually find a good price instead of just like buying the first one you see that's advertised. And yeah, any secondary market website, like the secondary market is where it's at with collecting, especially if it's like older stuff. Yeah, maybe even newer stuff. There's so much stuff, collectibles on the secondary market.
Oh, yeah.
So really know how to shop using the secondary market.
Yeah, and when you know, you can buy anything you think he might like it, because he probably will. So it will be easy for you to go all the way through any second market thing.
Mm-hmm. And I guess I should mention the secondary marketplaces to look. eBay is number one. eBay is king. Mercari, Etsy, Facebook Marketplace, Amazon, Target, and Walmart. Another pro to dating a collector is that all of the money they spend on collectibles is an asset at that point, because you can usually resell stuff. It almost always goes up. The value on any collectible almost always goes up.
Yeah, but in the same time, he'll never will sell, guys.
Something you need to know about collectors is that there's different type of collectors. So I am a loose collector, or an out-of-the-box collector, meaning I open the things that I buy and I display them. For me, that's half the fun of my collection, is getting to display them. I've displayed my collection in a variety of different ways. And some collectors are in-box collectors, meaning they don't open their collectible. And in-box collectors usually like that feeling of like their collection almost looking like a toy store. You know, it kind of has that wow factor. A lot of people do like whoa.
If I was a collector, I like more the in-boxes one. I almost get an argument with him because he opened one Hot Wheels one that I think was so cool in the box.
Just know the collector, like if you get them a loose item and they're an in-box collector, you know, they might not like that very much because they want to have the box with it. For me, I just want to make sure everything is complete. When you buy stuff loose or buy stuff open, sometimes there's parts missing, and I don't really like having missing parts. So I generally tend to buy in-box and then open, which is like the worst, because when you open something, it loses value. But I don't care. You know, I'm not really in it for the money. I'm in it for the fun and the hobby. Something else you should know about collectors is that you do not touch the collectibles.
I like to touch the things, but he said it. What do we have?
Everyone's hands have oil on them.
Yeah, and he don't like that we touch, so it can get ruined. So I get it, but I still touch it.
Yeah, that's why they don't let you touch stuff in museums, because your hands eventually will degrade the product or the item.
In museums.
And yeah, you'll see some of the really snooty collectors, you know, they put on white gloves before they open stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And they have like acrylic cases. I mean, yeah, it looks nice, but yeah, if you're dating somebody like
picky that way.
Yeah, then you have to be...
He's really picky, but I don't think that much.
I'm not that far.
Yeah.
Like, I do touch my collectibles with my hands, and sometimes I will, even when people come see, I'll take something out and let them hold it. In general, don't touch the collectibles. Just they might let you touch them, especially if you ask and stuff. Like, I've let her wear some of my helmets and stuff before. The last things I can think of is that as collectors, we love to talk about our collection. I know that in general, maybe most people don't want to hear about it, so I don't really force it on people. I don't bring it up very much. But when we do get the chance, like, yeah, you could talk about it.
He can talk for hours and hours. So if you is in the kind of boring day to kind of end the subjection, talk about it, like have a story behind it. Like, just let them talk. And they would think that you were the fantastic dating in all the story.
Yep. Yeah, if there's ever a low moment in your conversation, you could definitely bring up the collection, and I'm sure you'll learn something. Either about what they collect, or for me, you'll probably learn about the character himself. Character collections.
Yeah, Django background's really, really fun to hear it.
Yeah, he doesn't do a whole lot in the movie, but yeah, he does a lot in comics and like video games.
Yeah.
I think the taboo behind collecting isn't as bad as people think, because I think people grew up watching Toy Story, and there's that one guy who collects all the Woody figures.
Original hand-painted face, natural dyed blanket, stitched vest. Little rip, fixable. Oh, if only you had your hand-stitched polyvinyl hat. I found him! I found him!
And he's like,
Kind of creepy.
yeah, he's like overweight and has Cheeto dust fingers and stuff.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid by that stereotype, right? There's a lot of guys out there who are total nerds, but are like the nicest, sweetest guys you'll ever meet, or
That's
girls, either way.
That's true.
We hope this video helped. We hope you send it to your girlfriend, because it's probably more likely you are the collector watching this video.
For sure.
Girlfriend, boyfriend, send it to your significant other, I guess. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you to my wife for being here. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. See you.
Bye-bye.